Hello, my name is Joe Chavez, and I'm going to be presenting a Kickstarter project called Mobile Design Patterns Volume 1. So the idea is you take hardware from various device form factors such as phones, tablets, and things that are not those, that are players, like an iPod Touch, media players and whatnot, and you combine that with an operating system. And obviously there's Android, um, iOS, the two main players. There's a couple other small ones out there. Windows 8, in theory, is coming along, and you create designs for those platforms, and that's a combination of various practices. Those practices being wireframing, the UI, the user experience, and that's art of its own. And you really want to tell a story with an app and how you want the user to experience it. Developing it with an agile mindset, practicing lean techniques, and combine that with a set of tools from Adobe for designing UI, layout, graphics, Apple obviously if you're going to do iOS, Google if you're going to be doing Android apps, and cloud for data and other interactions. Obviously there's a lot of open source software out there for developing apps, and you have to pick a language to write this in, ideally a good one. And finally, the aspect of patterns comes into play, where we see these things in UIs all over the app stores now, and I would consider these features in the agile sense. And we're going to talk about 4 of these. Navigation is one. There's several paradigms for navigation, such as Springboard, which this is an older Facebook version, but the same idea applies in other apps. The list menu UI, where there's essentially a menu of items to select from, and you drive your functions off of that. The tab menu with the tab bar at the bottom, which you've seen in a lot of places, in various apps. And the gallery style app, where it's pictures, you click to zoom on detail, popular on Flickr and other apps. Form-based patterns, and they do with simple forms such as the login form, 2 fields, some help, and go basically. A long form where it requires more data entry, it's a little more intensive, a few more controls, and validation, complex searching, such as many options, and then go and then get a search result, and calculation, where the user is selecting more options and staying on the same screen to realize the results. Other types of patterns we see are tables, and table-driven UIs come in many forms, such as a single table-driven UI that provides a set of results for activities. So this is basically read-only. Detail table, where you select an option and below you see the detail for that table row. Table with actions, so there's buttons in the table, and then the buttons take you to other actions. And then tables with data. Tables with data. Tables with data. And then there's help patterns. There's a help pattern of a screen overlay, where you basically put an overlay up on top of the screen. It sees the help that way with translucent background. There's kind of the tour style help, which is welcome, tab to the next thing, gives you more information, slide to the next, gives you a little more information about what you can do with the app. And then there's another type is the demo, which basically is in-app. You're saying to the user, hey, how does this thing work? And you show them a video of how they should use the action. And from there, there's this kind of tip-driven style or pattern, where you could basically provide the user the ability to pull up in context-sensitive help within the activity that they're using. So these are many different styles or patterns of help implementation. So the main idea here is that we're going to take the best design patterns for mobile apps and deconstruct them and build them back up into functioning apps. And the book will produce apps based on these three concepts, and that's it.